Few things are as normalized in society as alcohol consumption, but what most people don't know is that, most of the time, we never drink alcohol alone. I guarantee that what you will hear until the end of this video on this subject will be very different from other channels you may have heard, as it will be based on the teachings of the Rosicrucian order and the Spiritist doctrine of Allan Kardec. So, if you're interested in a different perspective, watch until the end because this knowledge will be valuable. And if you want to understand how alcohol consumption can affect your energy vibration, how it affects your soul, and how it can open dangerous spiritual doors and even shape your karmic destiny, you're in the right place. And of course, before we begin, I want to ask for your help. Like this video right now. Your like is essential for more people to have access to this spiritual knowledge and for us to continue bringing content like this. It's quick, it's free, and it makes a huge difference for the channel. First, we would like to make it clear that we do not want to impose our ideas or force you to stop drinking. We're not here to make condemnations, but rather to bring a spiritual perspective so that you become aware of what happens spiritually regarding alcohol, especially for those who are alcoholics. Okay, now, let's get to the point. Emotionally, alcohol is a disguised trap. It promises an escape from problems but delivers an even stronger return of them the next day. In the spiritual realm, the consequences are even more subtle and concerning. It's like inviting someone you don't know into your house without knowing their intentions. This interference isn't visible, but it is certainly felt. From the Rosicrucian and Spiritist perspective, balance and purity are fundamental pillars for spiritual elevation. Alcohol, however, is seen as an obstacle in this journey. It directly interferes with our vibration, reducing the energetic frequency that connects us to higher levels of consciousness. Think of chakras as portals of energy. Any toxic substance, like alcohol, acts like a heavy curtain blocking the passage of light. In addition to the vibrational impact, alcohol compromises the endocrine system, which is the foundation for maintaining harmony between body and spirit. The Rosicrucian teachings also emphasize that purity doesn't mean perfection, but consciousness. It's not about abandoning social life but making choices that strengthen the spirit. Imagine replacing an alcohol toast with a natural juice or flavored water. It seems simple, but it's a decision that elevates your vibration. Alcohol is much more than a physical substance. Each sip creates small cracks in our aura, the magnetic field that protects the spirit. These fissures create an involuntary invitation for low vibration entities, which feed on the dense energies generated by consumption. This is how what we call spiritual obsession works. According to Spiritism, it's a subtle invasion that compromises your autonomy and emotional balance. Lower spirits, attracted by these dense vibrations, find in alcohol a channel to influence thoughts and emotions. This influence can manifest as uncontrolled impulses, a sense of emptiness, or even self-destructive behavior. A classic example would be someone who, after drinking, feels more prone to arguments, impulsive decisions, or actions they would never take in their natural state. For Spiritism, these situations may not be mere coincidences but evidence of negative tuning. The most concerning part is how this connection can become a vicious cycle. The more the person consumes alcohol, the more vulnerable they become. Instead of finding relief, they sink into a sea of heavy emotions like anxiety and sadness, exacerbated by the presence of these external influences. The way to break this cycle is through conscious choices and practices that strengthen the spirit, such as prayer and cultivating elevated thoughts. But now you must be wondering, who are these spirits? Are they demons? And why would they be influencing you to drink alcohol? The reason is simpler than it seems. From the Spiritist perspective, these spirits are not demons. They are people who died and still feel the need to drink alcohol in the spiritual world. The Spiritist doctrine explains that when we die, we are exactly the same people. In other words, we don't change completely when we die. We maintain our habits, addictions, material attachments, knowledge, etc. Following this logic, spirits that are in need of alcohol in the spiritual world go in search of this satisfaction. These spirits, being in a state of intense material attachment due to their addiction, don't move to higher planes and end up wandering in search of people they can stay close to so they can satisfy their vices. But how do they satisfy themselves? By being close to us. Is there alcohol in the spiritual world for them to drink? You must be wondering. The truth is that these alcoholic spirits stay very close to us so they can experience the sensation of the drink we consume. And this is how they manage to feel the effect of alcohol. If you are a person who drinks a lot, the tendency is that not just one, but several other alcoholic spirits may make you enter a cycle of drinking more and more. And it is this affinity with these spirits that will cause you to absorb the low energies they emanate, which will facilitate you getting sick. These spirits, on the other side of life, will be rescued at the right moment by other spirits who are in slightly higher planes. In other words, there are rescue teams in service of light in the spiritual world. The truth is that alcohol consumption, although it may seem harmless at first, can bear bitter fruits in the long run. With each impulsive decision made under its influence, we create actions that connect us to future consequences, often painful ones. Excessive and long-term alcohol consumption contributes to what is called unconscious suicide, where repeated choices harm physical and mental health to the point of shortening one's own existence. Our bodies are sacred temples, loaned to us for a period of learning. Disrespecting them creates a kind of debt that will need to be balanced, whether in this life or in future journeys. This unconscious suicide prevents you from fulfilling the time that was determined for your incarnation, thus hindering you from gaining further learnings for your spirit. This suicide becomes a great regret for the spirit, which will have to experience and learn in another life what it failed to learn in this one. The key to breaking free from the cycle of alcohol consumption and its negative spiritual consequences is awareness and intentionality. It starts with recognizing the patterns in our lives and understanding how they affect our energy. The first step is to make the decision to take responsibility for our choices, understanding that we are not powerless over our habits. Choosing to drink less or not at all is a powerful act of self-control and spiritual discipline. It allows us to regain control over our thoughts, emotions, and energy. In the Spiritist and Rosicrucian traditions, it is also emphasized that seeking help, whether through spiritual counseling, therapy, or support groups, is a necessary step in overcoming any addiction. These practices provide the guidance and support needed to break free from harmful cycles and rebuild a life based on balance and spiritual purity. What do you think of this perspective? Does it make sense to you? Leave your comment. Your opinion is very important to us. If this reflection resonated with you, share this video with someone or in your spiritual group who needs to hear this message. Often, a simple action like this can be the starting point to transform lives. And, of course, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep receiving content that elevates and inspires. We will discuss this topic in more depth soon. See you in our next video. Peace profound.